where in Romans, the first chapter, where Paul says that there came a time when men did not see God the way God wanted himself to be seen. And because of that, they kind of walked away from the natural order of what God had designed for us to be like. And they decided to take things into their own hands. So he said that women lost no longer use their bodies in a natural way, and that men no longer use their bodies in a natural way. In fact, he said they were given to their own lustful nature, women with women and men with men. And so the Bible said that, Paul said that according to God's will, that's an abomination to the Lord.
Right.
So the question that came up in the Bible study class apparently was that, well, if the Bible says, that men ought not to be with men, not to be with women, then, and it also says that if you are divorced and you remarry, you commit adultery, why is it that if both of those things are legal, because in the state of Virginia, it's legal to have same-sex marriage,
right,
and it's legal to marry a divorced person. The question was, why then do most pastors that are Protestants and Catholics, I guess as well, why do they refuse to marry people who are the same sex? And they use a religious reasoning for that.
Right.
That's kind of, so that was really the basic question. Why is that? And while the answer is kind of complicated, it may be hard for some people to digest.
Right.
Most Baptist preachers that I know will marry a person who's been divorced. There's some that won't, but most I know will. Most Baptist preachers I know, and most Pentecostal preachers I know, will do that, but they will not marry same-sex couples. The Episcopal Church will, by and large, but most of them don't. Now, I can't speak for every one of them, but I can speak for the general doctrinal issues that have come about.
Right.
And, the issue is simple, in a sense, right? And that Jesus said that everyone cannot take that word. He said, let him who has an ear, let him hear. And that for those that can take it, that they can take it, just like with Moses. So his point was being to let people understand that this is what God's perfect will is, but recognizing that everyone does not fit into God's perfect will because we all make mistakes.
Right.
So he was saying that since people do make mistakes, he was giving us what was perfectly sound for people to do, which was if you marry, it's for life. You don't give up on your relationship. But he was also saying that he understood that everybody could not accept that. So therefore, he was saying that's why the Mosaic law had that out. And so he was telling us that that similar thing affects us. So what that essentially says then is that while it is not God's perfect will, but it is in God's permissive will that can take place. So the issue becomes is if I marry the person, then am I putting myself in a position to constantly go against where God wants me to be? And should anyone else be involved in that process? So, since the Bible does somewhat allow for divorce, then that would suggest that, because of how it was established, that the pastor at that point would not be pushing you into a relationship that was an abhorrent thing to God. Right. If the pastor pushes you into a relationship or somehow, I guess, is a part of establishing a relationship that is against where God says he doesn't want you to be in the present state, then that means he's putting you in a perpetual place where you are going against God's will. So it's kind of like lying, let's say. Everybody that I know lie.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Everybody I know lie. Well, there's one thing to lie one time, but it's one thing to live as a liar.
Right.
And I think that is the issue. So does God forgive? Yes, no doubt God forgives. But if I am complicit in helping you be a liar, then I am putting you in a bad position. If you tell one lie, then it's over with. It's a done deal.
Right.
And I think therein lies a difference. And I hope that kind of makes sense.